So, hi Afina, it is Sunday morning around 10 o'clock, and I just decided to go for a longer walk down to the covered bridge. I usually walk the other direction, but this morning I felt like having a look what's happening down here, which is always very beautiful, especially this time of year. I'm sure you remember that scene. The river's open. Although I think it wasn't really frozen over much. We had the warmest winter on record. So the good old covered bridge still standing. So the plan was, I thought I'd go down and sit by the water, and then instead of writing, tell you the story, and hopefully we'll be able to upload it to YouTube. But as you can see, Billy can go down. I think I will just get stuck in the snow, and then it's too tricky too for the dog to come, because he might want to explore and then fall into the water. We don't want that. So I just stand here for a bit, and there might be a wheeler coming. Billy thinks something is coming. In any case, you know the place where I am very well, and I'm kind of getting to know your place because of all those nice videos and pictures you have been sending me to keep me in the loop. And hopefully one day I will be able to go for a walk with you in your neighborhood. So let me start. It was the biggest event. Penny's breaking her hip, and actually the whole story is, well, she's back home. She came back on Monday, and ever since, well, even when she went to the hospital, which was the Monday before, I started bringing food over to Eric. You know, he of course said, no, I can cook for myself, and I'm sure he can, but he had a lot of extra worries and extra things to do. You know how teamwork is out here. You share the chores, be it cooking, cleaning, getting wood in, you know, the details of daily life. So anyway, I told him, don't even try to say no, I will bring you some food. It doesn't matter if you cook for 2 or 3, it doesn't make much difference. So I think it was quite appreciated. Sometimes it's really nice, not just that you don't have to cook, but that somebody else cooks, because everybody has a different way. Even though it was mainly soups, you know, I think he enjoyed it. So then Penny came home on a Monday. She got her surgery done on a Thursday. And the worst part, I think, was that she was kind of on standby. They couldn't really tell her when the doctors would be ready for her. But apparently the same day when she got in, a few other people fell, not surprisingly, because it was a sudden change in weather, and what was warm and soft the day before on the road turned to ice, and then there was a little layer of snow. So that was one thing. And then also, we had been in red. New Brunswick had been in red, COVID red, and on Sunday night it changed to yellow, which meant that some surgeries that had been postponed or put on hold suddenly got cleared. So everybody was before Penny, but they didn't know and they didn't tell her. And the outcome, bad organization, I suppose, was that she was on an IV and did not get any food except, I think, one sandwich during those 2.5 days. And that was very hard for her. But the good news is, and I was very surprised that Penny said that when we phoned after she came back, she phoned me and we spoke at length. And because I was worried that her anxiety level is really high all the time about little things. So I thought, man, going to the hospital, COVID, then worrying about Eric, how things would be at home, worrying about the surgery, the medication, all these things she usually is not a fan of. Yeah, but she said no, she made her mind. She felt herself at some point going really low. And then she said, no, Penny, I can do this. And then she kind of put her mind to it, got the right view, and said from then on everything was smooth sailing. And she felt very relaxed and very confident throughout the whole thing. And even when she was home, one of the first things she said was the appreciation she felt for everything she has, the things we usually take for granted, the nice house. She said even the curtains, the tablecloth, my beautiful cutlery, and little things that usually go unnoticed, that was suddenly big in the forefront. So I think that's a very, very beautiful thing to experience. Not to the point, almost to the point to make the whole accident worthwhile, but you're getting on in age, and appreciation and contentment in daily life is a very important thing. So I was very happy that she came to this insight rather quickly. And yesterday, we spoke actually every day pretty much, because she phoned me every evening when they had the meal that Veit brought over and that I cooked during the day, and she always phoned and then also gave me an update how she's feeling, and she's doing very well. She was on Dilanum, strong, I think, opioid medication for the first 3 days, and then she weaned herself off and is now on regular Tylenol, which is amazing. She had a partial hip replacement because the femur broke off where the ball of the joint sits in the socket. So they put a new part in, that ball, steel, some sort of steel, put it in, and 3 days later, 4 days later, send her home. And she's fairly mobile with her walker, and her pain level is much better now. That's what she said yesterday. So on my birthday, we had, like what we always do on any special occasion, organic chicken is the meal we go to. Hey, Billy, komm mal hier hin. Come here. He's getting too close to the water. Good boy. Organic chicken, and this was a huge one. And of course, Penny and Eric got their share with the cranberry sauce and the mashed potatoes and the rhubarb pie and the whole bit. So I said, well, you can't come to our dinner for various reasons, but we can bring the dinner to you. And, it's nice when you can do that. So that's the Penny story. And now I think I hear a vehicle come. No, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, the man who kind of made a big difference, because Penny was down, not too far, actually, maybe, where the camp used to be, that ugly Bart's camp, just a little further, I think I wrote that, where the crossroad is, where you can go for a walk uphill or downhill. And, we had, I think it's now probably 3 years ago, that people bought the woods, I think 80 acres, 100 acres, a big area that borders pretty much where our pasture ends, the new pasture we put in, where we clear cut. Then after is a little strip that still belongs to Eric. And then past that, there was a guy from Millville, I forget, McFarlane probably, who owned a huge area of woods. And then past that, where that ends, the Norton Fields begins, which the Harvey had leased from the government. That's Crown land. So anyway, that's piece that goes uphill and also downhill, all the way down to the Neckarwick stream. I met the young guy through my saddle business, because he has horses, Western, and he once just stopped in and introduced himself. And actually we spoke. He asked me who owns the land, and I told him. because he has sort of had heard that it was for sale. So next thing we knew, he messaged me and said, you know what, I'm your new neighbor. My dad and I, we bought that land probably for a very good deal. Years and years ago, Veit actually had thought about buying it. And also Martha and Harald at one point had considered buying a piece of it and building there, but then that never happened. Anyway, yeah, that's all I knew. And then over time, we saw that they were doing some cutting of trees and getting a little tractor in. The dad and the young guy, I met them on the road and we spoke little small talk here and there. Seemed to be nice. What I liked the most was the way they are using the wood. They are really selecting trees, getting them out. Then they have a little portable sawmill. And the best thing is from the woods, from the trees they got out and put through their sawmill, they from that wood, the lumber, they built a camp and really close down to the river. They made a road, all over time, mostly on the weekends, the two of them. A beautiful camp, really nice. Someday I have to walk down and show you. Anyway, the day that Penny fell, that was where the entrance to the driveway is. That's where she fell. And luckily, the dad that day, I think his name is Terry, he's probably mid-late 50s, came by with his skidoo. And then, of course, the rest is history. He went to get Eric. They got the van. They put Penny in, waited for the ambulance, blah, 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 blah. And I met him yesterday going for a walk. And the first thing he said, he shouted from far away, "How is your neighbor doing?" And, they are people, they don't wear masks. I think they don't quite believe in the whole thing like so many others. Or not so many, but some others. And he said, well, I wanted to go visit, but, the mask thing and blah, blah, blah. Tell her I'm praying for her every day. And then when Penny phoned in the evening, I told her that she almost started to cry. And now I'm getting the phone number through the son via Messenger and will send that to Penny. So I'm taking a break here now. Talk too much.